Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be doing a video reaction to Simon's the Hermits Cave tag, which is the deck that tag, and I think it has like 14 or 16 prompts. This is supposed to be a more of a reflective kind of tarot tag, and yeah, I just wanted to participate, and this is also my first YouTube video. So this should be really fun. So I have a couple tarot decks and oracle decks for this tag. So some questions will have multiple decks tied to it. Some will only have one deck tied to it. But yeah, it should be fun. I hope so. And hopefully I can bring you along. And the first prompt is going to be the deck that reflects who I used to be. Now, I actually don't have a tarot for this. Well, let me see. Okay. I don't really have a tarot for this one because I use all my tarot decks. So like I feel like all of them kind of still reflect who I am. But there is one oracle deck that I don't want to say I don't use, but I haven't used it in a long time, and it's my first oracle deck that I have ever had in my collection. So I think this deck kind of fits perfectly in this category, in this prompt. And it is the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle deck by Kelly Sullivan Walden, and then artwork is by Rasuli. This is a Blue Angel deck, and this is actually the one that is still glossy. So I've had this for quite a long time. And as wonderful as this deck is, I just don't use it anymore. Here are the backs. And there's no reason why I don't. I mean, I just think that like I have other oracle decks that I use in my collection that I just kind of gravitate towards more. But I mean, looking at this artwork, it is still stunning. It is still like wonderful. This was my deck, like my first oracle deck, and my only oracle deck that I had for like a very, very long time, because I felt like at the time I didn't need any other oracle deck as long as I had this one. So this deck kind of fits perfectly in this prompt because it kind of reflects who I used to be. It's where I started out really in my tarot oracle journey, because I got my first tarot deck, which was just a regular Rider-Waite deck, which I could show, and this deck roughly at the same time. But it has been a while since I've used this one, and I mean, like, look at this. This is so gorgeous. The artwork is so gorgeous, and yeah. Now, I really like the glossy cardstock, so I don't see myself ever trading this one in, or, you know, getting a replacement or anything like that. That's just not me. I also really love the guidebook. The guidebook is so fun. So you get like a little quote right here, a message, and then a dream symbol, and then a mantra, which is just so fun. This is my favorite deck by the artist here. I know he has like several other decks out, but this is the only one that I really connected with, and like I've seen online that I would actually want in my collection. So yeah, the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle is a deck that reflects who I used to be. And just so we can see it, my first tarot deck. Now this deck, it is I've been reading for a very long time, so it's not in the best condition, but I mean, it's okay. It's just a standard RWS. Standard RWS. It's not in the best condition, as you can see. It's very old, very worn, but very loved. So I won't spend too much time on this, but yeah, I got this deck and the Hero's Dream no, the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle at the same time. So those are the decks. Well, these are the decks that reflect who I used to be. Even though I still use this pretty daily, actually this deck stays out for me to use all the time. So, okay. So the next prompt will be the deck that surprised me the most. Okay, so this was pretty fun. Where did it go? Oh. This one is pretty fun because I recently got this deck in my collection. I have always wanted this deck in my collection, but I've never had the feeling that the time was right to have it in my hands, which is like perfectly fine, perfectly fair. Because I think if I had it earlier in my practice, I would not be able to have like appreciated it. And I don't know. So I got this deck like 2 weeks ago or so, and it has seriously surprised me out of like all my decks that I have received. I am in love with it. It is quickly becoming into like one of my favorite decks to use all the time, and it is the Housewives Tarot. Again, I've always wanted this deck, but I felt like the time was never right to have it in my collection. But it comes like this. I absolutely love Paul Keppel, like his artwork. I have the zombie tarot, and I love his art style. So it was kind of weird to me when I wasn't really jiving with like the Housewives tarot, like viewing it online. But yeah, but now I have it in my collection and I absolutely love it. But this is also like mass market, so you guys probably know what this looks like. It's pretty popular, honestly. But it opens up like this. You have the guidebook. These are separated out, like the cards are separated out, but I just keep it like that. Here the backs, sides, and then here are the cards. I won't spend too much time on this one because I'm sure you guys know what this one looks like as well. It is really fun. The reason why it surprised me the most because I thought that I would have the reaction of like not liking the imagery and like getting it, because there are some references like I personally don't understand in this deck, but the guidebook does a really good job. This card is so fun. But the guidebook does like a really good job of explaining it and like making you understand why this this was on the card, why they chose that for the death card. I love the Hierophant. I love the sun. Oh my gosh. Look at the page of cups. So fun. Yeah, this is the deck that really surprised me the most. Especially like recently, because I was kind of like on the fence about this. Even when I felt like it was time for it to come into my collection, I was still kind of on the fence of it. But it has surely surprised me. So yeah, the Housewives Tarot. And here's the little guidebook, which is also so fun to read. It comes like this. So fun to read. And I found that the readings that I've done with this deck is quite wonderful, very accurate, and kind of scary at that. So yeah, the deck that has surprised me the most, Housewives Tarot. Next up is the deck that has intimidated me the most, or intimidates me. I don't know if intimidate is like the right word for this deck at all. It is the Terra Volatile. This deck doesn't intimidate me, but I've had this deck in my collection and I haven't really used it, and I think it is because I don't have the big guidebook, or one of the guidebooks. And I know, so you can just see the inside. And I know you can like look at the meanings online, whatever. But like when I'm reading, I don't want to be on the internet. Like I know that kind of sounds weird, but I don't want to be on the internet. I want to look at the guidebook if I need to, or just know what it means. But this deck is so rich in its history and its symbolism that you kind of need the guidebook. Well, you don't need a guidebook, but if you want to know more information about what's on the card, like how it all connects, then yeah, you'll need the guidebook if you don't know already. I need the guidebook. I need the guidebook. I need the physical print. I am very much a person who likes the physical prints of things rather than like viewing it online. So I don't know if I don't know if the word intimidate is the right word for this prompt, for this deck. But to me, it kind of fits perfectly in this category. But yeah, Terra Volatile. I've had this for a couple of years now. I got it for one of my birthdays here. It is so beautiful. I love it. I think it is so fun. And it's, I don't know, I just love it. It's so fun. So fun to look at. Yeah, I just don't know. It's staying in my collection. I really like it. And then, another thing. I do think I need the expansion pack. Because there are some cards that I would prefer to have in this deck that are in the expansion pack. Like, I believe I would prefer to have the other High Priestess that's in the expansion pack than the one that comes in the standard edition deck. This is the 2 of Cups that I chose. But yeah. It's a really good deck. But I do want to take some time to get the big guidebook and to read it and to really understand this deck. So it's partly on me because I need to do that. And I haven't done it so far, but yeah. And then I also keep the vessel suits down here because I don't know. I'm not reading with the vessel suits, and I probably will never, ? Things can change. But I don't really have the want to read with the vessel suits right now. So I just kind of keep that at the bottom. And then with all my other cards. So next up is the deck that's pure comfort. So the one that comforts me the most. This one is also kind of fun. Kind of also my surprise section, but it is the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. Now, it's pure comfort because I usually come to this deck when I just need some more support in my life. Need like more support in my life, and I don't know, this deck always just delivers. And it's always the deck that I just kind of go to. This deck is mass market. I have the mass market edition. I think if you go onto the creator's website, somewhere right there, I think you just type in Lindsay Silverman XI of Astro. The website should come up. The edges are gilded, but if you get the mass market, it's not. And I decided to just edge mine in a black Sharpie, and I really love it. One of the downsides of this deck is that if you get it mass market, it is kind of uneven on the cuts. I don't know if you can kind of see that. I personally like it. But I know some people will probably go crazy if they notice, like, feel the feel the unevenness, but I personally like it. I think it's like tactile. So I don't know, it's really interesting to me. And then here are the backs. This is also like a very popular one, so I won't spend too much time on it, but this is a deck that really comforts me whenever I need like extra support. So the reason why I have said that this is also a deck that kind of surprised me is because in my practice, I like decks that like have both men and women in it. This is obviously, as the name of the tarot deck is, goddesses, only has women in it, right? So I was kind of always on the fence of getting this one. But I don't know, one day I was just like, I want to test it out. I just want to see. And this is one of my favorite cards, the Six of Pentacles. Like, gorgeous. Anyways, one night I was just like, okay. Sorry, but this is also one of my favorite cards. I love this one. I'm going to try not to land on my favorite cards because I will tell you. Okay. One night I was just like, let me just get it just to bite the bullet, see how it is. It's not the worst thing in the world for me to have a tarot deck in my collection that I don't really jive with. So I was willing to take the chance, but oh gosh, I love this one. It's certainly surprised me how much I would quickly grow to like love it and use it. Yeah, it is so pretty, and I love the artwork. It is, oh my gosh, just so gorgeous. Some of the cards are renamed. Like, wow. It's a gorgeous deck, and it's a really comforting deck for me. And yeah, the guidebook right here, the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot deck, is also really good. My only complaint is that it has a black background and then white text. I personally don't mind that. I can read it just fine, but I feel like some people may struggle with that, which is like a valid kind of criticism that one may have about this deck. But yeah, this is the deck that comforts me. So, the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot deck. Okay. The deck that gives the best readings. So, I have two tarot decks for this one. I'm going to start out with this one. I started opening it up before even showing you guys. Okay. It's going to be the Chinese tarot deck. This is also mass market. I've also had this like in my collection for a very, very long time. Put this right here. Title cards. Ooh, okay. I love this deck. This deck gives the best readings all the time. The guidebook to it, like for it, is also wonderful. I don't have the guidebook. Okay. I don't have the guidebook anymore, but I have because I was moving and then somehow, some way lost it. But I do have the guidebook on my phone. I have it downloaded. I have like the PDF version. So, I mean, I have the guidebook, so I don't have it. I have the guidebook and I don't have the guidebook, but I have the guidebook. But anyways, this deck is so rich in its history. Oh, here are the backs. And I just love it. I think it's like so wise. And I am personally a person that like loves to learn about different cultures. So having this deck in my collection just brings me a lot of joy. It brings me a lot of joy to have in my collection. And I love learning from like different stories that other cultures have. And this deck really does a good job of like kind of bringing you into the culture a little bit, and just making you appreciate what you learn and like what lessons you can get out of it. So whenever I read with this deck, it is always so good, and I don't know, I love it. I love it. Like, I think my favorite card is actually the moon card in this deck. The moon and the sun. Like, if you know the story, you know the story. But it is definitely a deck that I feel like a lot of people should have. So, this is a Chinese tarot deck. Okay, so then the next deck I have for the same prompt, the deck that gets the best readings, is going to be, let me get it, the Golden Tarot. Now, this is also mass market. I love this deck. I love this deck. I got this deck on a whim. When I went shopping. Where I'm from, we have a store called Ollie's, which is like a discount bargain store. And they have like a lot of products there, ranging from like books, clothes, kitchen stuff, decks, like anything that people cannot sell, like big stores cannot sell, they just bring it to Ollie's. And so then they had this Golden Tarot there, and I was just like, I should just get it. I think it was like $7 or so, if I remember correctly. So it was like, you know, cheap. So I was like, why not just do it? And I was pleasantly surprised also. Could have gone in my surprise position, or on the surprise prompt, of this deck. And this deck gives like the best readings ever. And this is probably like one of my favorite pip decks that I have in my collection. It is really big. I'm pretty sure if you know tarot, you know like the Visconti and like how tall the decks are usually. Again, one of my favorites. One of my favorites. So it is a pip deck, but I mean, I tell you, the tone and the voice that this deck uses, absolutely fantastic. I love reading with this deck. It is so fun. Weirdly enough, this deck reminds me of the month of October. I don't know why, but it does. I don't know. So sometimes I use this deck only in October. But when I want like a more of an intuitive reading, because it's a pip deck, so you can't really go off of the imagery sometimes, I go to this deck for the most part, because it's a pip deck. If I'm craving a pip deck, this is the one that I'm going to. And it's so wonderful to read with. Wonderful to read with. And I just love it. I just love it. And it's really fun. I personally have like big hands. So like shuffling for me is not a big deal when it comes to this deck. And then for the guidebook, it is also really good. You have like nice write-ups for each of the cards. And yeah, you have upright and then reverse meanings, or well, keywords, I guess. But yeah, I recommend this deck, and it is definitely a deck that gives me the best readings all the time. All the time. And it's one of my favorite pip decks that I have in my collection. Up So the next prompt is the deck that's too pretty to use. I have one tarot deck for this one. And it's not so much that it's pretty. To me, it is just too precious to use. So I don't know. Let me just show you. I keep it in this bag right here. Because you'll see why. But it is the Diana Tarot. I am a person who loves Princess Diana. I admire her, and I'll put it shortly. I'll keep it short. I just love her. Bottom line. So when I found this deck online, I was like, oh my gosh, I need this. This deck is indie, but I feel like I've seen it on Amazon before. I don't know. I keep it in this blue bag because the tuck box is not that all. It's not that great. When I first opened it up, the tuck box kind of like tore at the top, so I was just like, oh, I don't want to mess up this even more, so I will just put it in a bag. And then I put it in this blue bag because if you know Princess Diana, she had a blue ring, and I just thought that was perfect. This also comes with the deck. It's by Jennifer May Rayland. So if you look up her name, go to her website, you will see like some incredible art. This deck, and then I think she has another deck. I think, as far as I know, when I am filming it, is out of print. I think it's like a Louis the 14th deck or something like that. I really want that one as well because I really like her art style. But yeah, anyways, it comes with like this little thing right here. You open it up, and then on the back it has a password, a website and a password to access this guidebook to the Diana Tarot online. So obviously I won't flip this over and show you guys, but if you buy this deck, just know that it does comes with a guidebook. It's online. And it's really good. Honestly, if you know Princess Diana, do you know like what the cards are like referencing? But here are some of the cards. So as I said, this referenced her life. So there are like moments in this deck where it can be struggling and hard to see. Justice. So I would just say beware of that, I guess. But there are some cards. Oh. Okay, so for the World card. Oh, and then this makes sense as the Fool card, right? This, oh my gosh. Like, where the cycle. Like the cycle. So there are cards like that that kind of highlights her life, but you know, it's what happened, it's the truth. But then they also highlight some of her highest points in her life, you know? Oh, the Ace of Pentacles. So, as you can see, like the engagement ring that she chose, that's why blue bag also matches. Some of the highest points in her life as well, which is so nice to see and to remember, you know, because she was literally the sun of our lives. Just kidding. Well, not really. But she was just like a huge advocate for people, minorities, and like the disadvantaged. And it was just like, just a positive person to have in this world, honestly. We're at the Taj Mahal. Diana in love, take mystery. All the tabloids about her and her situation. So don't think that this deck kind of just shows off like her sad moments. It also shows off her best moments. But again, this is a deck that is too precious for me to use sometimes because it's so special in my collection. So I only bring this out when I absolutely want to read with it and like need its advice and like, yeah. So the Diana Tarot. Okay, so next prompt, the deck that made me fall in love with tarot again. I have 2 decks for this prompt. Which one do I want to start with? I'll start with this one. Okay. It is the Shadowlands Tarot deck. I do have the Shadowlands Tarot bag, obviously. So I don't keep it in its box. But this deck made me fall in love with tarot again. Mainly because of the guidebook that comes with it. Let me get the guidebook actually. Look, let me just hit that right here. We're gonna look at the cards first. But this deck made me fall in love with tarot again because this is just so different from anything that I have in my collection, and the guidebook is truly what made it, like, made me fall in love with tarot again. And like, I love the way that Monica Berdowski and her art style, her art is just so amazing. It's just a great deck to have in my collection, and I truly love the art style. This is also a mass market deck. Oh my gosh, look at that King of Swords. I love that. I love that. So sorry if it's like going in and out of focus. The Emperor, 3 of Pentacles, Page of Wands. Okay, so this funny enough, this is actually the card that made me want to get this deck, the 5 of Pentacles, because it just made me think of monster. Because it made me think of Frankenstein's monster, and then I got sad. And I was like, oh, I need this card. I need this deck. I need this deck. But I would have to say, like, I fell in love with every single. Sorry, no, that's a lie. I fell in love with this deck. I was gonna say I fell in love with every single card in this deck, but there are 2 cards in this deck that I do not like. But like, it's like cards like this. The Queen of Wands. So gorgeous, and like, I love the art style. I love like the lines that you see. I love the long fingers. Like, I love the absurdity of it all, and like, I mean that in a very, very good way. She just has like a different art style than I've seen, and I love that it's in a deck that I can like look at and just love. I love this Fool. Like, I think this is so funny. I love the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Like, every time I pull out this deck, I can feel like the emotions of the card. It is so wonderful to have. So wonderful to have. Oh, and it is also gilded. This is also a mass market deck. Guidebook now. It is so, like, this is like the best guidebook that I have for a mass market deck. It has all the information that you could possibly want in a guidebook. And it comes like, the pages, it's like this, kind of feels like a magazine kind of paper. And I love the small details, like the spiders that kind of like go down. But you have all the information that you will possibly need. Funny enough, this is actually the card, one of the cards. I think it's like 2 cards in this deck that I don't like. This is one of them. I don't know. I just don't like it. But it's okay. It's only 2 cards in a deck. I can't think of the second one. If I see it, then I'll definitely know. But I just love this deck. It is so wonderful, and it is a wonderful mass market deck that, you know, people should have. And then obviously I have the little bag that goes with it. So yeah, there is a Shadowlands Lenormand. I don't have that one. I don't know if I'll ever pick it up. Deck that made me also fall in love with tarot again will be Tarottube. I love this deck. It is also mass market. This is very much like an RWS deck, but it's just a little bit fancier. This is also another deck that I wanted for a very long time, but I just didn't get it. Until one day I was just like, it's time. It's time, and I'm so glad that I did it. I got it eventually because it is something like I love reading with this deck. I really love reading with this deck. It is so pretty. I feel like it really speaks to my Libra rising whenever I use it. It's gorgeous to look at, and it's like a little bit different. It's very RWS inspired, right? But, you know, in some of the cards, it kind of goes their own way. Just like in a subtle way, which I feel like is just enough for me to kind of like appreciate this, to appreciate it. This death card. How fun is that? Yeah, it's another deck that I really love. Like, look how gorgeous that is. I love that. And the little guidebook with it too is also really good too. It is glossy, so it is a little bit slippery. The guidebook is also really good. I love it. Scarabeo deck. So, you know, you have like the different languages here. But the little guidebook that it comes with, like this little guidebook, is very sufficient. It is really, really good. So, Tarottube, and Shadowlands Tarot deck for decks that made me fall in love with tarot again. I suspect it has to do with like the guidebooks because I love reading and I love just learning more. Okay, so we're almost there. The deck that I wish more people talked about. Okay, this is pretty funny. Because I'm not going to try to go on a rant. I'm going to start off with the tarot deck. Because I have a tarot and an oracle. I'm going to start off with the Gothic tarot. I feel like I did not see this deck anywhere. Like, I watch a good amount of tarot videos. Like, decluttering and like what's in my collection, what decks I'm using this month. I never see this deck. I think I've probably seen it like once or twice. And that's it. And like this deck is just a wonderful little deck to have. Like, I don't know why. Like, people love spooky vibes. This is the deck for you. Like, I don't know why people don't have it. I don't know why more people don't have it. It is wonderful. Here are the backs. Oh my gosh. It's also a mass market deck. Like, come on guys, come on. I edged mine in black, and then like, okay, it's kind of dark, so I don't know if you'll be able to see this perfectly, but look at artwork on here. Look at the artwork on here. Like, one of my favorite cards. I love the moon and the sun card in this deck. Like, if you want the Halloween spooky vibes, gothic vibe, the Gothic Tarot is so perfect for you. I love reading with this deck. It's wonderful. And it is a limited color palette, but it works so well. So well. Like the red. It also has like hints of green on some cards. Look at that. Oh my gosh, look at this. Like, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Like the green. It is a wonderful, wonderful little deck. And it does come with like a little guidebook. But they do have a bigger guidebook that you get online. And I do have that one. And I can say that it is also wonderful. It is this bad boy right here. Let me show you like how it's kind of like set up. So you have like a picture of the card. And then this whole write-up. This. And that's pretty much it. For each card. Like, are you kidding me? Why don't people talk about this much? Why don't people have this in their collection? If you're watching this video and like, you're like, maybe I should get it. Just get it. Just get it. I promise you won't regret it. It is wonderful. And get the big guidebook with it too. Unless you just want the small guidebook, which is fine. I do like the small guidebook. I think it is... If you don't want to get too invested into it, the small guidebook will suffice. Okay. The next deck that I have in this prompt, is a deck that I am so confused. Again, so confused as to why people do not have it. Like, they don't have it. Now, I have seen the Gothic Tarot, like, as I said, on one or two videos before. But I haven't, so far, as in, like, watching people on YouTube and, like, even, like, I don't know, looking at people's profiles on Instagram or whatever, I haven't seen this tarot deck. Tarot deck. It's not a tarot, sorry. I haven't seen this Oracle deck. And I do not understand why. But I think I have... I think I know why. But I'm here to tell you. Stop. I'm here to tell you to stop and get this deck. Let me just show you. It is the Witches Through History Grimoire and Oracle deck by Devin Forst. Guys. It is so good. Now, I have a suspicion that people, they didn't get this deck because it only has 25 cards. Which I understand for its price. I think it was like $25 or something like that. It's like, why would I buy a deck only 25 cards for $25? That doesn't make sense. Listen. Stay with me. Stay with me. You're going to understand why it's worth your money. Here's the guidebook. Okay. I'm trying to like get it. Trying to get it. Here's the book. And then here are the cards. Now, I will say I do not like the packaging. I'm actually trying to look for a bag that kind of like, so I can hold my cards in, because I don't like the packaging. That's the only criticism I have for this deck and like its production. I don't like the packaging. Okay. Here are the backs. Like, cute. I love this art style. Devin's like art is just wonderful. I encourage you guys to actually go to his Instagram, look him up, because his art is amazing. Okay, and here are the 25 cards. And then here are some of the cards. So there are cards for every suit. So like we have fire. Actually, okay, and then we have like air, water, spirit. Okay, let me get the and earth. Let me get the other fire cards. So you can see the setup. I'll go through this again, but kind of show you the setup of it, right? So you have a wand, you have a plant, you have a animal, and then you have two entities or people. Okay, and if you're looking at this card, you recognize this name. Yes, we have multiple people throughout history. It's witches through history. You have plants, and then you have people in history, like witches through history. Here, animals and like tools that you can use. Gods and goddesses, and like even the devil, the horn god. Like, it is a wonderful, wonderful deck. But I get it. It's only 25 cards. But listen, look at this guidebook, or this grimoire. It is packed with a lot of history and knowledge, and I'm just going to show you guys. So, it goes into what is a witch. Like, I'm not going to go through like every page, but I'll show you. Men and witchcraft. Like, it has a lot of history, and like common magical plants and what they do, and like different divination methods, like oracle cards, pendulums, scrying, astrology. Okay, and then like all this other kind of information, familiars and companion spirits. Like, guys, try this deck out. Like, I know it's, again, don't even focus on the cards. Like, you're getting this book, which is like wonderful. The Suffering of Salem. Oh my gosh. And it does go through, see how pretty this is? Okay. It does highlight like Mother Shipton, like witches in history stories. And then like in the back, we do get like the meanings of the cards as well, if you're ever curious. Okay. And it's like, see, it has a lot of, here's the author. Here's Devin. Wonderful, wonderful deck. I think people overlook this because of the amount of, I think people overlook this deck because of the amount of cards, but it is worth every penny. Probably even more than what it's going for, honestly. But I encourage people, if you're even interested in the slightest, to get this deck and try it out. Okay, I feel like I've done my good deed. So, the deck that feels like a secret between us. I only have one deck for this one, and it is, well, it's in this bag. In the purple bag that I have, and it is my Revelations Tarot deck. Now, it feels like a secret between us because I use this deck maybe once or twice a year. And it's because this deck really does a great job of calling me out. I love this deck. Like, okay, I feel like all my decks call me out, but this one does it in a way that kind of makes me like, you know what, you're right, and I'm taking what you're saying to heart. But I'm going to put you up, and we're not going to talk again. Oh my gosh, it is a wonderful deck. It's a wonderful deck. And this is also a deck that I wish people talked about more. because of like its system and like how it's set up. But anyways, here are the backs. And then this deck is mass market, not edged or anything. And here are the cards. This deck is so fun. Like, okay, let me show you. So if you know anything about the Revelation Tarot, this is a deck that has like imagery that is like upright, as you can see. And then if you reverse it, it has like a different vibe to it. Like it's different, right? I feel like if you're wanting to get into reversals, or if you're like not comfortable, or like you want to expand your knowledge on it, this is the deck to do so. Because you have the meaning, like the imagery upright, and what the card means when it's upright, right? And then if you have a reverse, you also have that reversal meaning. See? Like even here too. Like coming down. I'll show you my favorite. If we come across it, I'll show you my favorite card in here. But anyways, this deck is just, it's hard hitting. It's hard hitting, and it will not shy away from the truth from you. So to me, this deck feels like a little secret. Because I will use this when I just need an update in my life. Like I do this, like I will read with this when I'm going through like something extremely difficult, and I just need, I just need to hear from this deck. Or if I'm doing like a 6-month review of my life, or like inner child stuff, I'll use this deck. But it is so fun to use, and I wish people talked about this more, but this fits perfectly in the category of like a deck that feels like a secret between us. Because I don't think I have another relationship with any of my other decks like I have with this one. And here's my favorite card in this deck. I think, like, as you can see, right? Upright. But then if you reverse it, like, how different is that? And this deck is just really composed well. Because when I'm looking at this deck, I am looking, like, at the half, like, up. Like, right here. Like, I don't pay attention to right here. Like, my eyes do not go down here. It always goes to, like, the spot where I'm supposed to be looking at. And I haven't seen another deck do this before. So, yeah. This was also, like, my second deck in my collection ever. So it actually has, like, a really special place. And then the guidebook for it is also really good. Right here. The guidebook is really, really good. So you do get, like, a lot of information, and, like, you get, like, a little write-up, the reversal meaning, and then, like, the images of symbolism, so then you know what's going on. And it's a deck that I think people should just have in their collection. I think this one also deserves, like, a lot of praise. But yeah, a deck that feels like a secret between us. Okay. So the decks that define my tarot practice right now. I have 3 decks for this. Let me get the tarot deck out. Now, I am a person who loves the Rider-Waite system. So, I'm always going to have a Rider-Waite with me. So, I'm going to start off with this one. It is the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. This this deck technically fits into like multiple categories for me. It is a one of my it's another comfort deck for me. It is one that brings me like a lot of joys. It gives me like the best readings. It is honestly too pretty for me to use sometimes. In my opinion. This is also Mass Market by Los Scarabeo. I love the chunkiness, the line work on it, and like the color rate, like the coloring of it. I love it so much. It is probably my favorite RWS version, like my favorite version of the RWS. It is probably my favorite version of the RWS. It's, yeah, I mean, it defines my practice. It defines my practice. And this is also another deck that kind of like gets me out of a funk. Because I just love using it. It makes me really excited to look at to read and to just, yeah, it just makes me really excited to read. It makes me really excited to read. And I do like the little guidebook. Well, I mean, if you know RWS, then like none of the information is like whatever. But I don't know. I feel like this guidebook is different from other guidebooks that you see with RWS decks. I don't know why. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But like, I feel like this guidebook that comes with this deck is different from what we usually see. Okay. So the other deck I have two more decks. These are two Oracle decks that still define my practice right now. I'm gonna go with this one. Denise Lynn's Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. I love this deck. Love this deck. This is the only deck by Denise Lynn that I really gravitate towards, so I don't have another deck by her. I wish I liked the other art styles of her decks because I love her writing. But for now, this will do. This will do. Yeah, I love using this deck, and I have to be careful using this deck because once I pull it out, it's very hard for me to get it out of my collection again or out of the rotation again, because I will use this deck like for every reading that I will do, because I just love it that much. And obviously I try to keep my decks in like a rotation so then every deck gets used, but I have to be careful with this one because I will use this for months, which I have done before. I have used this deck for months and did not pick up another Oracle deck. So I have to be careful with this one. But yeah, this is one of the Oracle decks that kind of defines my, practice right now. It is so fun. It is great. I just absolutely love like the artwork on here, the words, and the quote that you get. Yeah, I feel like this fits in every season of your life. This deck does. So this is the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. Okay, so the other deck that I have for this prompt, the one that defines my practice right now, is the Greek mythology reading cards. I also love this Oracle deck. This is a deck that stays out all the time, just like with my original RWS deck. I go to this deck when I need advice in my life, need inspiration or anything like that. Here are the bags. Oh, look, so gorgeous. I love it. So sorry if you can like kind of hear the outside. I am like filming right by my window and I think my neighbors are doing something. Anyways, I love this deck. It is so good. If you are a person who is looking for a good Greek mythology deck, this is one of them. I do have another one, but it's like not here right now. that is also good. But this deck and that deck, 100% recommend for people who are interested in learning about Greek mythology, want to get into it, or like just need an oracle deck because they don't have one. I really recommend this one for people. It has like a lot of people in here. It has like the guidebook is really good. I'll show that in a second. And it is like completely accurate in its predictions, in its advice, in its messages. So I really like that. And I like the different art styles that are like kind of in here. I can be personally picky with it, with art, and like how it's like I could be picky with like my tarot decks and oracle decks. But for some reason I don't mind the chaos that I see in this deck, probably because it's like Greek mythology, and like Greek mythology is just chaos, really. I don't know, it works well. It works well in this deck, so I really, really like that. So let me show you the guidebook that comes with it. I really, really like the guidebook. Again, if you are somebody who is trying to get into Greek mythology, or if you're just wanting to like brush up on your knowledge, or again, if you just want to look at Greek mythology oracle deck, this is definitely one for you. Yeah, so you get like a little bit of the background story, and then like a little paragraph or like 2 or 3 sentences, how you can apply this message, like the card, to your life and to your situation. It is a really good deck, a really good deck to have if you are wanting to get into Greek mythology. So put this up. So the next prompt is a deck that pulls me out of a rut. I kind of already answered this unknowingly when I put it in my other prompt, where the prompt that I just did, because it's the Radiant Wise Sparrow Tarot deck that kind of gets me out of my rut. So sorry. I forgot I had placed it in both of them. I should have did like another deck. But yeah, so you know the answer to that one. And then lastly, guys, we made it. We made it to the last prompt. The last prompt is the deck that waits patiently. Now, when I was watching Simon's video, I kind of took this prompt as for me, I'm doing my like my own little spin. It's the deck that I don't use because I'm waiting to use it. Like, I'm waiting for the right time in my moment to use it, to sit down with it and to fully connect with it. So it's a deck that waits patiently for me. And it is let me get it. Okay. This is so funny. The Solo Busca Tarot. This is my mass market edition by Will Scarabeo. It opens up like this, and then like that, and then it has like this ribbon because the cards are like massive. Okay, put this box over here. Well, here are the backs, by the way, not edged. I want to use this deck. I want to use it, but there's just a part of me that's not ready to do so. I don't know why. I don't know why. Because I got this deck with the intentions of using it, and I'm about it, and I'm still like, I still feel the same way now. I just don't know why I can't pull it out and read with it. I am just guessing, like, it's just not the time. It's just not the right time to use it right now. And I don't know when that time will be. And I don't know if, like, after this video, I'm going to be like, hey, let's use it right now or not. But it's the deck that waits for me. It's waiting patiently for me to pick it up and to use in my collection. Or to use it, put it in my rotation, to look at it, to study. I look in this deck. I love the art style of it. Like, I love how it's composed. I love the history of it. I love the glossiness. I love that it's big. You know, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. It has a lot of my favorite qualities of a deck that I like to look for. Really, it really does. But I just don't know why I cannot bring myself to use it. I really don't know why. But I'm just gonna say it's not the time to use it. But I know that this deck will be waiting for me when I am ready. But it is still a deck that I like to use. I like to use. I also love this one too. The guidebook is okay. It's not my favorite guidebook, but it's not entirely bad either. You know, it looks kind of thick, but again, it's Los Scarabeo, so you know they have like the different languages in here, like this. But it does give some information about it. I think, let me go. If they had done the minors, let me try to get to it. Hold on. Yeah, I don't even think they address. What? Wait, hold on. What? Okay. I wish they had done the minors a different way in the guidebook. Maybe it would not have taken me this long to use it. I don't know. I'm just suspecting, but I'm just assuming. I think I need to spend a long time with this deck, and I just don't feel like now is the right time. I really don't feel that because I am wanting to go back through the RWS again and kind of learn, like, study it again. But as I am thinking right now about this prompt, there is another deck that I have. Let me put this up. There is another deck that I have in my collection that I do feel like that also waits for me, which I'll show you guys to kind of make up for the other prompt, the prompt. I'll show you guys another deck because I'm sure you guys are not wanting to leave from this video. So the other deck that waits for me patiently for the same reason, because it's just not the time, is the La Corte de Todoroki by Il Minigelo. I hope I pronounced that right. This is another deck that waits for me. Oops. This is my copy. And then if you don't know, like, it comes with like this little slip that says this. This is another deck that just waits for me patiently. I haven't been using this one. I think I've used this actually once or twice since I've had it. I think I've used this actually once or twice. But I wish I used it more because I love the artwork. It is, funny enough, it's a modern deck, but it doesn't look like it, does it? No. It looks like a very ancient deck, but I think this was made, if I'm not mistaken, in the 90s. So it is pretty modern. But I love the vibe of it. Like, I love the vibe of it. I love the art style. I love the feelings that I get from it. Is this in order? No. Okay. I mean, if you know this deck, then you know this deck. I love the texture of it. It's like this, as people would call it, which is like so true, cardboardy, but it fits. It fits. It's like, it feels nice. But this is also another deck that kind of like waits for me patiently for me to use it and to like really get into it. This doesn't have a guidebook, but I don't know. I think I just need to sit down one day and like decide on how to use it and like where it fits in my practice, I guess. But yeah, another deck that waits for me patiently. Okay. So, I think, unless I could come up with something else, that is, I completed the prompts. I completed the tag. I can't think of any other deck that I can put up here or to show. But I just wanted to say thank you for watching. If you watched all of this, a huge thank you. And like, this was my first video, so hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully my voice is, you know, not too annoying, and I hope I made sense throughout this thing. I don't know. You'll see me on the next one if I make a next one. Maybe this one video that I post will embarrass me to the end of the time. Just kidding. But no, it was a fun tag. I will be sure to link Simon's video if you haven't seen it already for some reason. But yeah, thank you for coming on to this journey with me and listening to me ramble about my decks. And like, listen, if there's anything to take away from this video, go check out the Gothic Tarot and the Witches Through History Tarot or Oracle. Okay, that's the most important thing to take away from this video. But in the meantime, thank you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.